What's up, Drop Pod listeners? You can check out new episodes of the Drop Podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find all of our content on YouTube at the Drop Golf Podcast and on our socials. That's Instagram and Twitter at the Drop_pod. No matter how you consume us, like, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Follow and listen along.
This episode is brought to you by All County Exteriors. Discover the excellence of All County Exteriors, a third-generation leader in premier exterior home remodeling, proudly celebrating over 40 years of success. While most remodeling companies last just 5 years, All County Exteriors has withstood the test of time, consistently delivering top-quality roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Their expertise extends from small repairs to large additions, serving homeowners and builders alike. More than just a construction company, All County Exteriors is deeply committed to community service, proudly supporting organizations such as the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the American Cancer Society, Roofs for Troops, and Parents of Autistic Children. If you have planned to do any exterior remodeling, call the experts at All County Exteriors for a free, no-obligation estimate for your project. Just call 732-370-2780 or email them at info@allcountyonline.com. That's 732-370-2780 for All County Exteriors for all your remodeling needs. This is the Drop Podcast where we talk golfing in the Garden State. I'm Mike Poro, and this is Ryan Coulott.
What's up, Drop Pod people? Welcome back to episode 95. Today is Tuesday, July 30th. You got Mike and I here. We have a really special episode for you. We're going to kind of go through some stuff real quick here, kind of give you our schedule for the week. We got to give you an update on the tours. But then Mike and I recorded the rest of the episode up at Ballyowen. We were fortunate enough to get up there, play the course, stay at the course. So we kind of go through our whole 2 days up there and kind of talk about things and the experience that we had and the courses we played. So that's going to be the vast majority of this episode. But before we get there, we wanted to kind of give you a little update on some things. Yesterday, July 29th, Monday, Mike posted his Mike Verse. Magic Mike Monday was against Ballyowen's 18th hole. Mike came down and attacked the finishing hole there, which was really tough after a long ride there, a long walk. And so his par 4 18th hole at Ballyowen was yesterday. If you didn't check it out, head on over to the Instagram, the YouTube page, and go find it. Today is episode 95. You can watch us on YouTube as well. If you're so inclined, Mike and I record the video version. Otherwise, you're listening to this anywhere you can find podcasts. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the 31st, I also played Ballyowen. I took on the second hole. So Mike and I went opposite directions there. He went late, I went early. Par 4 second hole at Ballyowen. I would say it's a must-watch, Mike.
I think they're all must-watch, but that kind of hits a little different. Hits a little different, and I think as people stay tuned and listen throughout the episode, they're going to kind of hear why.
Yeah, for sure. And then Thursday, our interview this week, like I said, we're going to keep it all Crystal Springs related. Our interview is Mark Malillo, who is the director of golf at Ballyowen and Black Bear Golf Club. So that is Thursday, August 1st. We had Mark on and got to talk about his experience. Again, being the director of golf at two places that Mike and I love. Obviously, Ballyowen stands for itself, and you're going to hear later that Mike and I both think that Black Bear is the second best course that we've played up here. The views, the aesthetics, it does it all for us. So we talked to Mark about that. So that's interview Thursday with Mark. And then Freaky Fun Friday we got. So we'll be putting stuff out. So that's a little update, recap of our week here. Let's get into the professional tours, Mike, because I don't want to wait too much longer for us at Ballyowen because I think it was really cool. But also, we got to talk professional golf here. Max was, I'm sorry, not Max. Morgan was off this week on the Corn Ferry Tour. Him and Ryan McCormick are going to be playing in Utah this week coming up. The PGA Tour is off because of the Olympics, so Ryan's going down there. Morgan's still grinding, trying to get into that number he needs to get to. So Corn Ferry Tour is on while the PGA Tour is off this week. But last week was the 3M for the PGA Tour. And if you were watching and you've been following, Max had a week and had a Sunday. He shot 63 on the final round to finish in second place. He was in the lead for a little bit. Was it Jonathan Vegas? Is that the guy's name, Mike? Ended up winning the tournament. But Max was in the lead when lead by one with Vegas having 2 holes left, I think 3 holes left. So it went on an absolute tear, and Max hits maybe the shot of the tournament on 18 to get on there from the trees with that kind of pressure. Absolutely stunning. So good for Max finishing second place there. That is going to be a huge bump for him in the FedEx Cup points list. Before we get to the FedEx Cup list, Mike, let's finish up our guys. Chris made the cut, finished T62. Again, we've talked about, getting points, cashing checks, and while we need to make a little bit of move at some point, still that's and it's doing something, right? Unfortunately, Ryan did miss the cut at the 3M, so he is still outside of that number. So let's update you on our guys here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, what a week. What a week when you're talking golfing in the Garden State and you got our 3 guys up there. And I know Ryan missed the cut again, and I know his game is probably not where he wants it to be. And Chris is hovering right in that 90 range in terms of FedEx Cup. And he's got Wyndham, not this week because obviously Olympics, but next week, that's his last tournament to see if he can sneak inside the top 70 is what he needs to get into. And currently sitting in mid-90s. He's going to need a big finish next week. But I think the story of the week is clear as day is Max. Because to your point, like you mentioned, that shot on 18 takes a some big guts. Let's keep this PG. But oh man, that shot he hit to execute it, to pull it off, to then 2-putt birdie on 18, to put him in a tie with Vegas.
Got to be tough to walk around like that.
Bro, it's understatement. And then, kind of some of the things that when you're watching a telecast that just stands out so much is Max is tied with Vegas. Vegas is on 18. If you don't know 18, it's a par 5. And, you'd like to think majority of the guys on the tour are going to make birdie on 18 from the middle of the fairway where Vegas was. And warming up wise, you see Max is playing ping pong with Neil Shipley warming up. And I think it was about to put Trevor Immelman in a spaz because he did not like the fact that Max wasn't out there warming up. God forbid he gets into a playoff, and then Max proceeds to get out to the range because Vegas hits it to 90 something feet on the green. And now Vegas has to 2-putt this, and Max is starting to warm up and hit some balls in the range. And Vegas, to his credit, does 2-putt unbelievably from 90 plus feet. And I thought the one thing that was kind of interesting really from that, and seeing Max climb obviously the ladder to get inside the top 70 right now is huge. But the announcer did ask him well, who won the ping pong game? And Max starts laughing and says, well, I'm not sure Neil really wants me to say this, but I beat him 11-1. So at least Max walked away with not only one victory beating Neil in ping pong, but he's also, I know second place isn't where guys like him want to finish, but getting inside the top 70 is probably a big goal for a lot of these guys because once the playoffs start the middle of this month, you want to continue your season. You want to play in these big time events because that's where all these opportunities open up. And if you can get into this one, then you get into the next one. And then maybe you get into a major after that because of where you finished. And if you get hot at the right time, the way Max is playing right now, hell, maybe he does a Lucas Glover and wins 1 or 2 events to start this playoff off. And who knows what happens after that.
They could jump him in really high. Yeah. He is sitting inside the top 70 right now. That gave him enough points. He's up to number 64 in the FedEx Cup. As you said, Chris is at 95. And Ryan is outside of that 125 number that we've talked about. So he's looking at trying to refigure his the rest of his year and kind of going into what he's going to be at next year. But yeah, Max with that incredible finish puts him in there. He is definitely hot right now. So hopefully he can keep that going at the Wyndham and then keep it up for, again, see what happens in the FedEx Cup. It's got to be tough for those guys though to if he is inside the top 70, but he's, in the 60s, high 50s, it takes a lot to climb enough to get to get up to where he is. But as you said, stranger things have happened. So let's see if he can win a tournament and finish second, maybe get him enough points to just keep rolling. So that'd be fantastic. So, and then obviously, can we mention this? Who's got it better than the Grazerman family right now? Right,
Yeah.
younger brother Reed winning the New Jersey Open. Right, Max coming in
Amateur.
second.
Amateur.
At the New Jersey Open.
New Jersey Amateur. Reed won.
The New Jersey Amateur. Sorry, and then and then uh, and then Max coming in and finished T second. I mean, golfing their golf ball, as you like to say. So, so yeah, kind of a big stuff happening there. So that's great for Max. Mike, I don't want to keep the people from what they want, and what they want is seeing you and I on a veranda at Ballyowen talking about our experience.
Send it there, buddy.
Here we go. Here's Mike and I at Ballyowen talking about our experience and everything at Crystal Springs. I really think you're going to enjoy it. Remember, stay tuned on Thursday for our interview with Mark Melillo. Big Crystal Springs week. We'll see you on Thursday. Till then, cheers.
Are you looking for the perfect place to tee it up this season? Or just looking for a great spot for casual comfort food? Or how about the most picturesque backdrop for the wedding of your dreams? Then you need to go visit Galloping Hill Golf Course in Kenilworth, New Jersey. Conveniently located in Union County, right off exit 138 on the Garden State Parkway, Galloping Hill encompasses over more than 270 beautiful acres. It was again ranked in the top 10 of best public golf courses in New Jersey. Galloping Hill also offers a top 50 in the country learning center with 52 stalls and a 45,000 square foot practice area. In addition to a 9-hole course that is ranked in the top 10 of short courses in the entire country, Galloping Hill is more than just golf. The Hill Tavern Bar and Grill is a gastropub with seasonal food and beer options updated regularly with amazing views of the course. Hosting over 100 golf outings and over 400 social events per year, their catering team consistently wins awards each year from the Knot and the Wedding Wire. Schedule a tour for your special event at the clubhouse at gallopinghill.com. It's all happening this year at Galloping Hill Golf Course.
What's up, Drop Pod people? We have a very, very special segment here, or episode, or whatever you want to call this, that we got going on right now. Obviously, if you're watching this, Mike and I are currently on location. We are on the little patio here at Ballyowen. Ninth hole is behind us. You can see the green behind us here. Hole number 1 is just over there as well. So we're here. We're on location. We had quite a couple days here. We just played Ballyowen, and that finished kind of our weekend up here, or our couple days up here. And we want to recap it for you. We want to talk about it. Just an absolutely special time, stem to stern. So we're here. We're doing it. It's really been really very cool. So if you are listening to this, I will say, because we are on location, probably better to go watch it on YouTube.
I would say so.
You're going to get, there's some visualness to this. And if you are, like, if you can hear that gas cart in the background that just was in frame and then not, there's going to be some drive-bys here, and we can't really control some of those things. So so sorry if that happens. But Mike, let's talk about this. We had a real special opportunity. This has been a great couple days. Where do you want to start?
I think we got to start to thank a few people to begin, because
Okay.
I think when we took this journey up here last year, Brian over at the Ledbetter Academy over there at Black Bear, Crystal Springs, really kind of opened the door for us to come over here. And then, working with Michelle over there at the Grand Cascades Lodge and Crystal Springs Resort, having us up last year, we were like, wow, that was a unique experience. I think the feedback we got was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And then to kind of start to have these conversations that come back up here for year 2, it's just been that much more. I think those two need a big thank you for opening up their doors for year 2 to have us come up here, have us experience this. It is quite simply an unbelievable resort.
It really is. I mean, I have a feeling we're going to use this term quite a bit. First class, A-rated, like whatever you want to call it. But everything that we've done here so far has been top of the line and just really wonderful. So thank you to those Brian and Michelle, for really setting this up and kind of being the catalyst behind this. Do we have anybody else?
I mean, listen, we could probably keep going down a long line. I mean, Tom Reynolds over there at the Ledbetter Academy.
Tom's my guy,
he's
man.
your guy. I mean, he's been unbelievable. When we come up there, he's remembered everything that he told us last year. He said so many nice things about you last year. I'd said we need to tone it back a little bit this year. He then doubled down and added to that. But listen, I think Tom's another guy that's just kind of opened his door to us and has made us feel like buddies. Like, it's just been a nice conversation that we've had over there. So I think he was probably the next guy.
He would be. And I was taken aback by his ability to remember us from last year, because he's got to do, between then and now, how many lessons has he done?
An infinite amount.
Right. Hundreds, maybe thousands.
Yeah.
I mean, in the last year, he's got to have done, so to specifically remember what he said to me last year, when quite frankly I had forgotten it, was really pretty mind-blowing. So it was really pretty cool to have that experience. So he's another one. So Tom, thank you for all your help and positive words. And in case you guys are wondering what those words were, last year called me an athlete, which is, Mike, did you hear that?
I
athlete
did.
Last year.
I heard it too much.
And then this year was very kind in saying, I don't see anything wrong with the swing. I think it looks great. Infinitely better from last year was I think the quote that he said. So so Tom, thank you. That was great. But let's start there, because I guess that was the first thing we did when we got up here. I mean, we did check into the hotel, and we could talk about the hotel check-in experience. I think, like, there's all kinds of people checking in at the same time. It felt like the line went really quickly. The bellhops were certainly helpful in bringing the bags to the room, and like there was all first classness there. It was if it wasn't immediate, it was because they were dealing with somebody else, and again, it seemed like there was like 7 or 8 people checking in, and the line went pretty quickly, but they were shuffling back and forth, and they were awesome. Positive in their talk. Like, I hope you have a good time. Like, they were all very personable is the word I'm looking for. So that was excellent. So when we check in, drop our bags, hit the car, we go to the Ledbetter Academy, we go see Tom. We have a lesson with Tom. Spent like an hour on the putting green and on the range, and then we do a little recap. Tom was awesome. Was just awesome.
Listen, I think he gave us so many little nuggets that I think are going to be very helpful for you and I, because we are like right in the middle of a very hectic, a very busy, a very enjoyable golf season, and anytime that you're able to talk to someone, on a personal level, to look at your golf swing in a one-on-one way, it helps, and I think. For you and I, like we had been playing very good golf, and I think getting a little extra like information, insight about our golf swing kind of has enabled us to, really take it to the next level with how good that we are playing, both of us. So
for sure,
like being over there with Tom was a ton of fun, and the videos that he was taking, that he shared with us, we were able to go back and look at them, re-listen to things that he said. Like, that whole experience, I mean, it's something that I know. And I'm hopeful that it happens continuously, that I just love coming up here and seeing these guys.
Yeah. What I liked most about it is that he's sharing things with you. Like, he sees something instantly, and he's able to break it down so quickly, so perfectly. So, like, and he asks you, what do you want to work on? Like, what's the issue? And to your point, I said, like, I think we're playing good golf, and I know you wanted to work on putting, and so did I. And he's like, okay. He's like, roll a couple putts. And he just watched us, frankly, practice putting, because you and I never practice. And he's like, this is what's wrong with you. This is what's wrong with you. Here's some drill. Like, broke it down, took some video. This is what it is. Just like the quickness for him to diagnose what's wrong or what an issue is with the swing was really, really impressive. And honestly, that was the most impressive thing about him specifically. But then you want to talk about, like, you can go to a lot of places and get lessons, right? to go to him and get lessons, you're not just going to somebody and getting a couple drills to do or whatever. You're getting feedback instantly that you can watch. To your point, like he recorded stuff, he took pictures of stuff. He like I was like closing my club face, and I don't know it, I don't feel it, but like then he shows the video, you slow it down, and like my club face is closing, after, and it changes the direction of the ball. So then you're getting hard evidence. You're in this cool little spot. Like it's more than just a lesson, right? Like the whole experience is, again, world class. And I think that's the Ledbetter kind of academy way, is like, this is how we're doing it. We have all the top technology, all the top tools, instruments, teachers, everything, and they're going to use every tool or instrument at their availability. So
yeah, I think, to summarize, I think his attention to detail is really what stood out to me. Is like he was able to look at us, not make some drastic changes that it's going to be like a major thing here or there. It's like this little thing, let's look at this, let's fine-tune that. And it's things that you're able to implement the minute you go out and play the next day or the next round. And it was like, all right, I feel a lot more comfortable doing and trying what he says, because I just spent 45 minutes on a putting green to see some sort of results. So, I think if anybody is in this area, like you're talking this Crystal Springs Resort, Hamburg type town area, right. Sparta, like I don't know how you pass him up in terms of going to see somebody, because not only is he a good dude and a good person, but he's clearly very knowledgeable.
Yeah. I'd even say, like, if you're coming up here, say you got like a family trip and the wife wants to do, you got an hour to do something, or you got, you might not be able to get 9 holes in at one of these places. Go take a lesson. Hit the range. Like your money is going to be certainly well spent. You come up with the boys, you're going to do like a little boys weekend or girls weekend, and you got 4 girls that want to play golf. Like he can do everybody at once. He can say, hey, we're all going to hit the range. Like, just start hitting balls. And you come up with 4 people you got to force them that's going to be here. You can certainly do that too. So there's a lot of ways that you can get it.
You could have a group of 8 and have, you and a friend out here playing. You could have you and your girlfriend out here playing. You can make this like a really, really fun weekend that not only includes really good golf, but you could even get a little instruction while you're at it. So 100%. It doesn't matter. I don't think if it's, it could be 2 buddies, it could be you and a friend, you and a girlfriend, whatever it is. I think you definitely can make a long weekend of this. No
For
questions.
Sure. And we're going to, again, Mike, talk about that, I'm sure. But the experience here, there's nothing short of what you can do, right? There's a hiking trail, there's golf, there's axe throwing, there's mini golf, there's pickleball, there's all kinds of gym. I mean, there is a
little putting course.
There's no shortage of things to do up here. There's really not. And then if you want to talk about the surrounding areas outside of it, like there's wineries that are not far away. There's things that you can do. Like, this is not just like a golf destination. Yes, they have 6 golf courses, and yes,
they're
great
very
golfing facilities, right? But there's also, like, you don't need to be, if you're listening to this and you're like, well, I can't take my family on a golf trip, that's fine. This is a place where you can stay and have a family fun couple days. Maybe someone doesn't want to travel all the way to, like, and I'm not knocking them, but like Great Wolf Lodge out in like PA. Like, maybe that's too far for somebody. Like, you got the...
Nice birdie.
Somebody birdie. Like, you got an indoor pool, an outdoor pool. You got like water slides. You can jump off the cliff onto the, like, there's that in the indoor pool. You got world-class spa and spa treatments. The gym is, there's 2 different hotels. There's the Grand Cascades and there's Minerals, and Minerals has this world-class basketball courts and
rock climbing,
all the stuff over there. There is not a shortage of things to do here. So maybe we should have started with this, but like, we're going to talk the golfing aspect of this. This is not a full golf experience. You can do this
this is a full-blown experience.
Right.
Like, we're going to cover everything.
Yep,
you have it all here for everybody. It doesn't have to be the crazy golfer like I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can legitimately sleep in, have a great breakfast, go get some spa treatments, go to the gym, and then play an afternoon round of golf where you're covering every single checkbox list that you're trying to accomplish. Like, you can in theory do it here. And like, you and I talk about this all the time when we're talking golfing in the Garden State. Like, we have it here. This is just another example of like a family atmosphere that encompasses every little detail.
Absolutely. And again, so many varieties. You can come up with a couple buddies and do like a boys golfing trip, right? You could play 36, like 18, then check in, stay, have dinner, and then do 36. Totally. You could come up with your family and not play golf. Like there's and anything in between. It could be a nice romantic getaway weekend. It could be a nice family weekend. It could be boys trip, girls trip, bachelorette party, bachelor party. Like there's endless reasons to come here. So, but we've gotten away from the golf, Mike. Let's bring it back. With the Ledbetter Academy was awesome. Tom was great. Again, I should remind you. I've forgotten to keep reminding you, but athlete here, and it's starting to show. To be fair.
Yeah, listen. Well, we can get into that in a few minutes here, but then we leave the Ledbetter Academy. We're feeling good. Like, we can't lie. Like, we're kind of like, all right, well, I can't wait to get out there, itching a little bit. It's a long ride.
Yep.
It's a long ride. For someone like me that's coming from LBI, it takes about 2.5 hours, so it's a little bit of a hike. And unfortunately, as soon as we get to Crystal Springs, the sky's just open, and it is lightning, it's thunder, it's torrential downpours, and our round at Crystal Springs got rained out.
Yeah,
it got rained out. There was no way we could even try to play. We looked outside at 5 o'clock; it was coming down. So unfortunately, after the lesson, we weren't able to apply any of those instantly that Tom had given us. But to your point earlier, but you have the resort. You have the resort.
100%.
You could then, okay, I'm not going to golf. I can still do X, Y, or Z with a friend, with a girlfriend, with whoever, and still enjoy your time here.
100%. And I think we utilized that time wisely, that little afternoon that we had. I know both of us, kind of, we like talked and said, let's explore, but kind of let's explore on our own, see different things. And I know you went over to Minerals and got to check out some things over there. And I kind of stayed. You got some ice cream. You were very excited about your ice cream.
Very excited. Listen,
and
big bowl of ice cream.
And I told you how excited I am that you got it. I really was, because you don't.
I'm not a big eater like that.
You're not a big eater, but you're also like, this is a golf trip. I know we're here working, but like, this is a golf trip. So like, to you, we should be playing 18, 36. What's 36 plus 18?
54.
54. We should be playing 54 holes in a day. That's to your. So for you to sit down and have a bowl of ice cream by yourself is the most
Mike Porto-esque.
It really
was.
It was
ever.
really very nice.
Yeah, so I literally sat down.
This is what relaxing feels like. It was really very
I don't know
nice.
what that's like. I don't know what it's like, because for me it's go, go, go. But I did sit down at Minerals, have a large cup of ice cream, and just sat there.
Loved it.
Texted you.
Yeah.
And you're like, get the hell out of here. I'm like, no, I'm really doing that.
I had to call him. Yeah. I called him and said, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So there was that. So then, we have dinner, go to sleep, because we have early tee times the next day. So we had a 2-night thing. So the first day kind of got rained out. Next day, we're going to tee off at 7 o'clock on Wild Turkey. And we had a big day because I think the stipulation is that Ballyowen and Wild Turkey are 1 and 2 of these courses up here, right? There's 6 courses, but Ballyowen and Wild Turkey are kind of the crown jewels of this place,
100%,
correct?
100%, not even close. Not even close.
So we're both very excited for this day, because we're going to play the 2 best courses, so to speak. What everyone says to us. We got Wild Turkey in the morning, which worked out great because it is right on property. You don't need to travel anywhere, so don't put into your GPS. If it's not taking you to the parking lot, you're not going to the right spot. Mike and I got in my car, and I put in One Wild Turkey Way, and that was not. It brought me into a neighborhood, and Mike had to put it in his GPS, and it was like, we're teeing off, like it's in the parking lot. It was like you had to go from the garage to the park anyway. So that's how our day started. So then we get there, and we hit some balls, we rolled some putts, and we go tee off, and it's you and I, playing alone and just able to kind of cook out there. And I think Wild Turkey was excellent. It takes a little bit to get into like the meat of the course. Yeah. The first hole is straight away, just kind of gets you away from it. Good par 3 on the next one. I don't know if you heard, I was 1 under through 2 on the first 2 holes.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, the birdie on the first hole was outrageous. Outrageous. I'm surprised you didn't bring that up yet.
I was in the
first
fairway
hole of the
bunker.
Trip. First hole of the trip, the guy drives it into the right side fairway bunker. Not a bad drive, just kind of hit it too far. Hits it to 5 feet, makes the putt for birdie, and we're off. And it's like, all right, here we go. Tom, I hope you're listening to this because the guy goes out and birdies the very first hole of the day.
And I will say, and I've said this on the pod before, and I know I've said it to you too, I feel like I've been hitting the ball very well, and it's not equating to scoring well. So seeing Tom at, getting the putting lesson and then being able to hit that first putt, which was one that I would miss 9 times out of 10 instead of make, that like 5-6 footer, you should make 50% of the time, maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know what the percentage is, but it feels like it should be maybe more often than not, right? I feel like I miss it 9 out of 10 times. And I joked with Tom. I said I leg the ball from 5 feet.
I heard that.
So, like, to be able to knock that, implement what he showed me, and then do that was a really big confidence boost for sure. But it also showed that it worked. I got some confidence. And again, I think maybe it's going to lead into, and we're going to talk about this, the scoring and the ball striking. I think today finally matched up
100%.
for sure.
Listen, and I think Wild Turkey, I as we were going through the golf course, I thought it was getting better as we were playing. I think early on, you and I were both going back and forth, like, what do you think? What do you think? Like, if you had to rank all the courses that we've played so far here, what do you think? But I definitely thought about Wild Turkey. As you got going, it got really good. Yeah. And I think the one par 3 that you did your Ryan verse on, and that the par 3 I did the Mike verse on, like, those are 2 special par 3s.
Oh, my God.
I think, being a visual guy and making optics look at it and like, oh, wow, those 2 are 2 holes that you sit back and you're like, dude, this is a good hole.
Yeah.
This is a good hole.
Yep. That 7th hole at Wild Turkey is as good a par 3 and as visually appealing a par 3 as there is maybe in the state. I mean, it's you're up. There's clearly like some kind of like
rock
quarry
wall?
Or whatever. Like you're way up, and it's on top of a rock wall, and it has this like half moon teeing area. So like where we were, it's fully over water. But as you kind of half moon around, the angle changes. You got a little more room to maneuver, which kind of like at Union League is the same kind of thing. Like the angle changes and you can get your landing zone becomes greater on the green. And, for us, the green, you had 10 yards of landing zone. Like it was an oval green, but oval against us. So, it was to hit the green was pretty good. I wish I had putted better on that hole, but it was still really a good, a great hole. It really was beautiful optics on your par 3, my par 3. Just like, and I know again another thing we've talked about is the mountain views. Like 2 guys who don't see mountains, when we get to see mountains, it hits differently for us. Maybe it's the opposite. Like maybe if you play up here all the time and you're like, okay, you get to see some trees and some mountains and whatever. Maybe it's the opposite. Like you go to like a Manasquan or a Seaview or a Shore Gate, or you go to like one of these that's like more flat, oceany water views. Maybe it's a little different for them, but the views hit here as well. It was really, really good.
Yeah, and I think the golf course was good. I think it's funny as you wrap up Wild Turkey and talking about it a little bit. Like, had you gotten up and down on 18, you would have been sub 80.
Right.
Like I think that goes to show to what you've been saying a lot. Like you're hitting the ball really well. Sometimes the scoring's not there, but I felt like when we were out there this morning, I was like, okay, it's coming together.
Yeah.
It's coming together. So, listen, Wild Turkey's a great little golf course. I think after we talk about Ballyowen, maybe we can rank the 3 that we've played in terms of what we think.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, it was a very, very good golf course.
Yeah, it really was. And to Mike's point, I had to bogey 18 in order to shoot 80, and duffed one. I pulled it a little left. I was in the rough, and just the rough got me. It was thicker than I thought. So
18 was thick.
It was
even where I was
really
on my second
thick.
shot,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay, that's a little thicker than what I've been playing today.
Yeah. So then it came up short. Then I got chip on, and miss a long putt because I wasn't wasn't really that close. So, yeah, it was kind of. I didn't know also because you were keeping score. I was just driving the cart, so it was driving Miss Daisy today. But
the chauffeur.
It was chauffeur. Yeah, the chauffeur. but it was. I was disappointed when it came up with 80 because 79, as I've said, is not really where I shoot very often. 6 times now I've broken 80, and very easily could have been a 7th for me.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll even get to a point where I just stop counting and I just say I'm a 70s golfer. That would be great.
Wow, that'd be crazy.
That'd be really crazy.
Done. I'd be done giving you shots at that point. I shoot 73. I get my butt waxed.
So and then so we just talked about my game. You played awesome as well. 1 over,
2 over, 73,
2 over.
par 71. Listen, I think once I feel like the game is trending in the right direction. I think the putter is always the streaky part of my golf game. It depends on what's going on. And I think the running joke now between you and I is like we need to understand our distance control a little better because we're finding the center of the putter face, which is not normal for us. We hit the heel, the toe,
right.
So we're mismanaging the speed. But now that we're hitting it solid, it's like, wow, okay.
From Tom, getting our lesson there. And we both said it multiple times in both rounds today that we were like, oh, I misjudged that one because I don't know what it's like hitting the center of the face as often as I did today. So, you played awesome. I think just like I know some shots you were a little frustrated with, but just like a par machine today.
Yeah, I have issues. I have issues.
I know you do.
I have issues. So, there's a couple times that you get aggravated, and it's like.
But you can only see the ball rim past the hole so many times before you get frustrated. I get it. I do get it.
I felt like the ball kissed a lot of lips, and I was waiting for the ball to drop in the hole, and it just it must just enjoyed that too much.
All right, there's a dirty joke in there I'm going to leave alone. But.
I thought I was going to try to tee you up on that one, but this is PJ. So
but for sure, I mean, and I honestly, I'd say even here at Ballyowen, more so than Wild Turkey, you had a lot of junior proms that just didn't drop for you.
No.
And just, I can understand the frustration there. But again, you played awesome as well, and I do also think that you putted better.
Yeah.
Then
more consistently. Yeah, it wasn't the streaky aspect of rolling one in here or there. It was more consistent with not only the pace but the roll, and you can see the ball rolling on top of itself. And that's, as a golfer, when you see things like that, it's like, all right, things are starting to click, and it makes sense. But
even just hitting the line, like picking a line and hitting it, and it's like, how many times do you pick a line? You're like, okay, this is where I'm going to go, and then you push it or pull it, or here's your line, and you just leave it short, right? Because there's so many times that so even hitting a line, and if it was the wrong line, okay, fine,
bad read.
I can do bad read, but getting it on line, being aligned correctly, finding it, hitting it in the right spot was big.
And
today.
I think as we kind of ventured our way up here to Ballyowen, it was like
hold on, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We had a pretty terrific breakfast.
True, we did. We sprinted into the Crystal Tavern.
We did.
You have breakfast being served at Crystal Tavern from 8 to 11. Our round gets done at 10:30, and it is a full-on sprint.
So we teed off at a little before. Yeah, we teed off at 7.
7.
And then we get done, and there's 20 minutes before they got to make a table for us. We got to sit down, so they were able to get it. But we had a nice little breakfast there.
Very good.
And I will say, the coffee. I had a cold brew coffee, was excellent. I suggest the chocolate, not sprinkle, but they put a little chocolate in. They got chocolate or caramel, just tremendous, delicious.
There you go. Yeah.
So then we come over here to Ballyowen.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that needs to be said here is this. We were coming here through hell or high water because we say it all the time. We've done this March Madness thing, and we've go and find the winner. We're gonna go play. It just so happened this was the perfect opportunity for us to experience this place on our trip up here. Yeah. It won the March Madness. It is always ranked number 1 in the state of New Jersey when it comes to public golf. So we were like, wow, we finally get to come up here. We get to see again this spot that we haven't been here in quite some time and really fully dive into this special spot.
Yeah. And didn't disappoint. It didn't. That's the one thing I will say. How many times you go to a place and people talk it up, and it's like, yeah, it was nice. And I just didn't play well, so I got bad vibes. Or no, this place did not disappoint. And maybe it didn't disappoint because we did play well. But This place does not disappoint. I can promise you that. You can come up here and shoot 120, and you're going to be like, wow, the views here are stunning. The vistas are amazing. The clubhouse is beautiful. The cart attendants, the bartenders, the cart girls, everybody is top-notch. This place is number one in New Jersey for a reason.
100%.
And it's not – it's honestly, it's not just the golf course that makes it – and it could just be on the golf course. But everything else, this golf course facility is absolutely tremendous. It really is.
Yeah,
it's unlike any other place in New Jersey.
I mean, listen,
for sure.
I think at the end of the day, this is one of those spots that you can say that if you have a problem with this spot, you're the problem.
Right.
Right? Because the driving range, flawless.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
grass driving range.
Unreal.
Public spot, you don't get all
putting
that
green, so good.
Yep.
You know, Mark Malula and his staff here, you know, they do a phenomenal job with this spot, and you can see why year after year people want to come up here, people want to experience this spot, they want to play it, and this is why it gets that number one rating all the time.
Yeah.
But we got to get into the golf.
I will say, I like this phrase. If you come up here and you don't like it, I like the phrase, if the whole world smells like shit, check your mustache, right? Because there might be a you problem if you don't like it up here.
Yeah, listen, this is crazy.
It was awesome. I mean, the putting green, kind of a little off camera. It's right over there. Enormous putting green for you to kind of go hit some balls and come up here, wait for your time. Starter calls you up, gives you all the directions, right? You go over the tee box. Starter's going to tell you what tee to hit from, and then you're off and you're instantly in. Just beauty. And honestly, I will say this, the first hole is kind of different than all the other holes because there's more trees on the first hole than any other hole. You got to kind of
it kind of like
the woods.
Yeah, it gets you into the woods, and then it's just like wow. And then it's just like
it opens up into this like again, Ballyowen's kind of an Irish name. They got the bagpiper there. The guys are wearing Knickers, thank you. I was going to say kilts, and I knew it wasn't right. I had to find the word for a second. Like, that's kind of their thing, like, is Irish, right?
Yeah,
so it's
vibe.
a linksy kind of course, but the first hole doesn't have that linksy vibe because you are going into the woods, and then the second hole you're teeing out of the woods, but then it gets that linksy vibe, and you're just in it.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, I think we have to talk about your start. Okay. Because I think what we talked about, you and I, when we were going down Wild Turkey, and we said, you're 1 under through 2. Have you ever done that before?
Mm-hmm. We did.
You're like, I don't know. I don't know if I've been 1 under through 2. Maybe one other time. And then we get here to Ballyowen, and you par the first hole. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, just solid par, nothing to it,
right.
you know.
Fairway green, 2 putt.
And then we get to the second hole. Now, for the audience, we're playing the gold tees, and we were reminded by the starter that's roughly 6,600 yards, gave us the breakdown of what handicaps need to play what tees, and Ryan
was very adamant about
very intent on where you need to go.
But to be fair, I will say this. I think a place like this is going has to be diligent because I think there's a lot of people that are like, or say like, oh, it's the number one place in New Jersey. Like, let's go.
Stretch it out.
Let's stretch it out. Let's go play,
the blacks.
The black tees. And, like, let's go see what it's like from back there. And, like.
Pace of play gets ruined.
Oh, it gets miserable for everybody. Yeah. So I do think that, I mean, we did jokingly call them the Gestapo. Yeah. But I do also think you need to be diligent because the whole day is going to be ruined for a whole lot of people if you got some jabroni that's, going to shoot 120 from the reds and wants to play the blacks.
On top of when it's cart path only with how much rain we got, that's going to really slow up the round.
For sure.
But we get to your round, you par the first hole, but then the second hole, if you know the holes here at Ballyowen, it's a little dog leg left. You can either, hit it out to about 215 out to the fairway, or on a straight line, it's about a 245 carry in the air to the green. Mm-hmm. Ryan decides, he's going to pound this driver of his, and I swear to God, that had to be the best drive I've seen you hit because you don't really hit draws. Mm-hmm. This thing was a high, soft, Mike Porro-esque draw at this green, and I'm like, holy hell. Guy knocks it on the green, 15 feet, 2-putt, birdie. We're 1 under through 2, and we look at each other again like, here we go. Here we go. And then we get to the third hole, par 5, dead up a hill. Okay, you got to hit a good drive out there. You got to kind of lay up. You're really not going to get there in 2 if you know the hole. The green is surrounded by a huge bunker.
Right.
You again
split fairway.
Yeah, you knock it to about 17 feet and drop that thing like it's hot. Now we're 2 under through 3, and I'm like, I'm about to get in my car and go home because I don't know a 10, 11 handicap that is coming out here and going 2 under through 3.
Yeah.
You want to go talk about sandbagging. I mean, like, listen, you're going to be that example here. So to be 2 under through 3, which we know had to be a career start,
Yep.
had to put you on a cloud 9, because I think a lot of things that you've said are now coming to fruition. Like, wow, it is all coming together so nicely.
It is, and I don't. I've probably been 1 under through 2 before. I don't make a lot of birdies. I have said that, but that's probably happened in. I've been golfing for 20 years. I would bet that that's happened a handful of times, right? Probably not a lot, but I'd be shocked if it's under 3, right? Mm-hmm. Definitely not making 2 birdies in a row,
right.
So to go back-to-back birdies, to make 2, the drive on the second hole was really good, and I almost made the eagle putt. Needed to give it a little bit more, but still a great putt. But then to make a 17, 20-footer, something like that, whatever there was on the par 3, or the par 5, like, that was really kind of like, okay, again, going back to Tom, the lesson helped.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a career start for sure. And it I don't want to say it got better, because 2 under through 3, right. I didn't shoot 2 under today.
No, but I mean, when you talk about the front 9 as a whole, you finish with 37 on the front. You know, and when you look at that number, it's like, and I know that if I said to you before we even teed off, I'll give you 37 on the front, I'm not telling you how you get it, but I'm going to give you 37. You're signing up and jumping on 10.
Oh my God, yeah.
So even with
I'd even pay you for it.
Even with a hiccup here or there, it's like, all right, you have some room to work with, but the goal is not take a step backwards. Yeah. And I thought that front 9, you did a really good job of that, because you could have relaxed, said, okay, if I make a few bogeys or double, I'm still going to shoot 40 or 41. But, you kept your, foot down on the pedal. And I thought you played unbelievably well. And I think, you and I have both said this, that this front 9 here at Ballyowen is probably a little better in our eyes from an aesthetics point, that it just hits.
Yeah.
It hits.
Yeah. The optics, and going back to my trip in Ireland last year, I love the links view. It's why I love Charleston North so much better than I like Charleston South. It's why I love the front a little bit more than the back. It's just wispy grasp and rolling hills. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, I just love that. And yeah, to your point, I didn't really think at all out there. I just kind of felt like, I kind of chuckled to myself as I thought of Step Brothers, and he's like, I felt like I was like an angel over my body watching, and I kind of felt like that. I wasn't thinking, and I wasn't making any mistakes. Yeah. I was playing golf and hitting good golf shots, and I also felt like I've been doing it now, hitting good golf shots now for the last how long? I wasn't even waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Which was also unusual, and again, that's more a mental thing, because I usually wait for the shoe to drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't waiting for the shoe to drop now.
Yeah, I mean, to give the audience a perspective, I just pulled the scorecard out right now. Through 12 holes, you were 1 over par. Like that, you're talking legitimately unbelievable golf. Mm-hmm. That's 3 birdies that you had through
from
those 12
a guy who
holes.
doesn't have birdies, right?
How
often
holes.
do I birdie holes?
Yeah, listen, not as I mean,
it's not one around.
You're turning into a birdie machine, because today, I mean, listen, you had 4 in total today.
I know.
So I mean, listen, that's a hell of a round,
right?
Because I think you're starting to really play golf, as I like to say a lot, and not just slap it around and shoot 85, 95. You're golfing, and it's unbelievable to see. It's good to see. It's fun to see. But I'm done. I'm done giving you shots. We're gonna play straight up, you and I. You versus me, same tees, no questions asked.
I still don't think we can. All right, because even though my handicap is trending into the single digits, officially not a single digit yet, because it resets at night, but it is in the single digits now.
Right. So we're playing even. You're single digits. I'm single digits. We're playing.
Well,
even.
hold on. There's a difference between a 2 and a 9.
Not many.
Right.
That's
7.
It's called even.
7 is what I'll.
You're going lower than a 9. You're going lower than a 9. I mean, when you think about this round today, to wrap this round up, I mean,
to be fair, and your dad is going to get really angry with me. I didn't put Ballyowen in yet because we parked the car and we set up this, and we're.
But it'll be in. So, when people wake up tomorrow morning,
right,
you're going to see that round in.
Oh, when the round's already been in. If you're following my gin app,
if you favorite Ryan, it's well in. You'll see the number 77 in there because I think even when you think about the entire round, every hole in the front nine to me is just special. It is just truly a special front nine. Mm-hmm. And there are some holes in the back nine that are bears as par fours. You're talking like 420, you're talking 460, you're talking, some of those holes back there are long.
And I think that's the yin and the yang of the course, right? Like there's hard holes on the front. They're I'd call them challenging holes, right? They're not terribly difficult, but they're challenging, right? They're not super easy, not just to slap it around. You got to play good golf. But the views, and there's a little bit of a challenge. I don't want to say it's easier, but like...
I think the front's more gettable.
Right?
I think the front there's some more birdieable holes.
Okay, I guess that equates to easier. That's not what I was thinking, but
right.
But then you go onto the back, you kind of lose because you have some rock structures in there, and not that the rock structures aren't beautiful, but like you kind of lose the Irelandness of like just the wispy grass, and you have some bears of some holes that are not just challenging, that you need to hit a great drive, not a good drive, a great drive, and then you have to really know your distance, and you have to hit a great shot because you have a 167-yard uphill, smaller green, protected by stuff, little mounds with fescue on it. Like there's trouble all around. So not only do you have to hit it with high, with spin, or distance control, but you have to hit it on line. And there's really a big emphasis on hitting two great golf shots. And then you have to putt well as well, because there's a lot of undulation in a lot of these greens here.
Yeah, listen, and when you're talking for guys like us, like the 14th hole, for example, like we're playing the gold tee, stretches a little over 6,500 yards. It's wet, so the ball's not rolling out. So maybe it's playing closer to 67 or 68. But that 14th hole alone is a par 4, 450 yards. And when the wind's blowing in your face, you're like, oh, my God. Like, I need to put my big boy pants on, tighten the belt buckle a little tighter, and we got to go.
I mean, it was playing all of 475, let's call it, because it was up, because your drive is into the little valley, but then it's uphill to... I mean, I climbed Mount Wanahakalugi on that one because it was really quite. I mean, it was really uphill, and yeah, it's okay. Maybe not 475, but 470. I mean, it's a 20-yard.
It's a good hole.
It really is, and a difficult hole. And then if you're playing it into the wind, it's even longer. Yeah. So yeah, to your point, there's some really tough ones on the back here.
Yeah, and I think from a picture aspect, the front just does it, except when you get to 18. I think when you're coming up 18 and you see this unbelievable clubhouse in a distance, and then you're right there and you see like I guess that looks like a little like wedding area, a little venue that people can have something in there. It looks really cool.
I mean, they very clearly do weddings here. I don't know if they're in here or if it's in that little building.
Little building. Right
okay, that's where they are?
That little building, there was like a dance floor.
Oh, okay.
So that's their little spot. Looks like that they have venues and events in there. To see that right next to it, and then the 18th hole be right there, it's like, wow. Okay, now we're talking. You put the icing on the cake right there coming in here, and for you to make that birdie putt there on 18, I mean, that had to be good to 25, 30 feet. Things bending, thing just drops in a hole, and then you go career low, 40 on the back, and people are gonna say 40, and that's with a triple and a double. He shot 40. So put
those hard holes in the middle. I became, I
had to give him a little coaching lesson. I think on maybe I was like 16 or 15. Like, listen, get your shit together because we need to finish this round. We are not putting up 85 after you shot 37.
Yeah.
And you finished the last 4 holes par, birdie.
Yeah.
77. Yeah. Career low at the number 1 golf course, public golf course here in New Jersey.
Yeah. It was a really good day. And again, I've said it a whole bunch now that I've been playing well. I think Tom's lesson put me over the edge because I don't make that birdie putt on 18 if Tom doesn't help me out, because I'm just trying to lag it, which I was really trying to do anyway, but at least I had a better idea of what I was doing, right? Standing a little closer. I know how to aim the golf ball now, which is really shocking that I was aimed so far off. Again, going back to what we started with Tom at Ledbetter, I don't make that birdie without Tom. to be frank, I don't make the other 3 birdies without Tom, and those the one on. The one on 2, maybe I make because that was more the driver. To drive the green is really good. But 3, I'm not making that putt without Tom. I'm not making the putt on 18 without Tom.
12,
and the one on
12. I mean, you hit it close. You hit about 4 feet on 12, so give or take a little bit there. But
yeah, but it's still. But to your, that was a 5-foot putt, 4-foot putt that had a little bit of movement.
A little bit, yeah.
That I knew where to aim. I knew where I wanted to. I saw the line. I aimed it because Tom helped me with my aim, and I put a good stroke on it. And that is, yes, I hit a great golf shot into the green, but previous me misses those because I don't. That's the scoring aspect that's been missing from my game as of late.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and you've finished with 77,
which is my lowest ever. Yeah,
and that's just another reason why you and I are playing even moving forward. You know, I can't go 73-73 and have to give you too many shots. We're just going to play even.
Okay, but you also can't go 73-73 and then play me even because I'm not going 73.
Well,
so I'm going to need
pretty damn
some.
close. I'll give you one aside. Fine, we'll compromise on one aside.
Okay.
$1,000
and 3 aside, sure. $1,000.
Free
cash. Before we finish up here, the one thing I do want to mention is they have these like triangle. There's 1 wheel in the front, 2 wheels in the back, little like walking scooter kind of thing.
Moped, I don't even know.
Yeah, where you put your bag in it and you walk the course. You hook on a little sensor to your belt, and you walk and it follows you. And it's got a cooler in it. It's got cup holders in it. Your bag is just is kind of angled and just there. I mean, really really cool looking. Again, we chose not to do it with the cart path only with so much rain. We just
I think if I was the first tee time out and I knew I wasn't really holding anybody up because they said the tee sheet was jam packed.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I'm doing with this. If it malfunctions, what am I doing? I got to call somebody. It's already jam packed.
All good points.
So it's like, all right, if I came back here and I was the 6:30, 6:45 tee time and the first one off, I'd be like, listen, let's do it.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to bother anybody. We're still going to play relatively fast. We're going to move. I felt like that's where I kind of was like hesitant to say like, let's do it. Even though those types of things, to your point earlier, was like right up my alley.
Yeah, it really was. And all good points. I also think like there were some spots that were wet.
Yeah.
That, if we're walking the course, it's
get stuck. What are we doing?
Exactly. So there's all good things there.
But I'd love if you use it. DM us. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
That's what I want to see. If you are playing Ballyowen and you go in and you see this, it's sitting right next to where you check in. There's another one when you walk in. If you use these scooter things or whatever, take a video, send it in to us. We would love to see this. This has got to be super cool. So, but Mike, let's go to kind of the we've now spent last year. We got to play Black Bear. We got to play.
Wild Turkey.
Wild Turkey. We've played Ballyowen. We've played.
And then we played Wild Turkey again this year. 2 years of Wild Turkey.
Okay, correct.
Black Bear and Ballyowen. We were supposed to get Crystal Springs added to the mix, but obviously
that's right.
Out.
Okay. Right. We got rained out.
Right.
Okay. Duh. So of those 3, what's your ranking of those 3? And I'm going to say this. Ballyowen, right? Number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
it's. No, I don't think it is.
I don't care what the price is. I don't. I'm not a big. That doesn't ever matters to me. Like I don't really care whatever it is. To me, it's like, all right, let me go experience a spot. And listen, we all know that golf isn't cheap. So I know that if I'm coming up here, like I'm going to treat myself to a round of golf. And
this is a treat. This is 100%.
Yeah, you gotta.
If you're coming up here, even if you're just going to go play golf the one day, and you're going to, hey, let's go to Ballyowen. This is an absolute treat. If it's going to be $250. I really don't know what the tee fee is here.
I don't know either.
Greens fees are, but like even like, it is a treat. Come play here. It is not priced out of whatever it is. That I'm sure of you. It is not a $500 round, and so I can promise you're not getting priced out of something here, and it is well worth the money.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, they're definitely number 1 for me. Definitely, hands down.
They also make a pretty decent cocktail. So now we got Black Bear and Wild Turkey. What's your?
Yeah, I think. Listen, this may be an unpopular opinion, but for me, Black Bear And I know I've said this many times on the podcast in the past. There's always been something about Black Bear that just hits for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I loved it. I don't know if it's even that 12th hole where you're hitting out of a chute and you're going like down the hill, like, or the next par 5, whatever that maybe is, 13, 14, you're climbing like a mountain. Like the 10th hole where you hit and the mountain is like in the distance and you see the ball just rising up.
And it just,
It's like, I don't know what it is about Black Bear, but Black Bear for me just hits.
Yep.
And again, this may be a very unpopular opinion for the people up here in the Crystal Springs area, but I'm going Ballyowen 1, not even close. I'm going Black Bear 2, and I'm going Wild Turkey 3.
That's not shocking to me. We've talked about this before. You're a big views guy. And the views at Black Bear, and again, going back to our earlier point, maybe you don't see these views very often. So
No, I don't. I don't.
That has better views. There's better mountain views at Black Bear than there are at Wild Turkey. There just are. And you're a big views guy, so that doesn't shock me at all. I think this will shock you, though. I also like Black Bear.
See, you're starting to come around. I think as you start playing better golf, you're seeing things differently. You're seeing your lines differently. You're seeing the courses differently. You're getting to see a little bit of what fairways and greens look like differently, and you're starting to able to step back and look around and be like, I can see now why that crazy fellow across the table is talking about. I get it.
So, Mike, I was thinking about it because we talked about like what we were going to talk about in this kind of reasoning, in this kind of realm out there. I liked Black Bear a hair better. Wild Turkey is excellent, but Black Bear I didn't think had any, and I don't want to use the word gimmicks because that's not the right word, but like I didn't think Black Bear had like target golf per se. And there's a couple at Wild Turkey that I felt like was more target golf, and to me, target golf necessarily isn't the best kind of golf, right? And there was just a few of those holes where it's like that's where you have to be, and you got to put it there. The views also at Black Bear, I'm not as big a views guy as you. The views are excellent at Black Bear, and again, seeing those mountains, going through that chute with like me being in the woods, finding the ball, you way in the back of the wood. Like, there's something about
some of the spots
views.
You've put me into video. When you think about it, Black Bear's another great example. I'm deep in the woods there.
Yeah, I'm not a good friend. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be better.
You are getting much better, much better.
Today was easier.
Today, yeah. Listen, I'll take more of today every day.
But it was. I thought Black Bear was excellent, and maybe it's also because like it's underrated. Like I don't feel let down by Wild Turkey at all.
No.
But maybe I wasn't let down, but Black Bear exceeded from last year. I don't know how to explain it.
It definitely doesn't get the love.
No, it really doesn't. And I thought that it was really, really excellent. I really did.
But I think that just goes back to this whole place. If you want to like put this and put a bow on this conversation, I just think this place hits.
Mm-hmm.
You said at the beginning, I think if you date back to all the stories that I put out, like I said, first-class treatment, first-class facility,
Mm-hmm.
and I think whether it's the Ledbetter Academy hanging with Brian and Tom over there, whether it's at the lodge with Michelle and everybody that works over there, whether it's at all these golf courses they have, this place just hits, and it's special, it's unique, and I know it's been on repeat. Like, I don't care who you're coming with, buddies, friends, girlfriends, whatever the case is. Like, you got to come up here and experience the spot.
1,000%. I don't disagree. There's no varying in that. There really isn't. I do want to give one last shout out, Mike.
I know where you're going with this, but go for it.
I'm not sure you do.
Oh, maybe I don't.
Maybe you don't.
Maybe I don't.
We played with two great guys today.
So I knew where we go. Listen, you're starting to come around to the Mike Poro thinking. You're hanging around more. We're in person more. I'm rubbing off on you a little bit more. Like you started to click a little bit.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
There's certain things I'm not gonna want to play 54 holes in one day, but there's certain things I'm gonna have a cocktail and ice cream all of the time. You're just, kind of some of the time. So maybe I'm rubbing off on you too.
I had two cocktails today.
I know you did. I was very
I'm not a
very
big
proud
I'm not a
of you.
big golfer that likes to drink at all because I'm so fixated on my number and playing well. But I know some people would love hearing that, hey, listen, Mike Porro actually cracked one open out there, and he did. And I know. And it wasn't one, it was two.
It was two.
And I know there'll be some people that'll smile and laugh at that.
Maybe the big fella's rubbing off on you a little bit, too. We play with two great guys here at Ballyowen, and I don't often like to call out some people, but it was really cool that we were in the parking lot. Somebody noticed our bags and said hello to us, and is a follower of the show, and he's here in like a family outing, and that was really cool. And then we got to play with CJ and Eddie, these two guys.
Dudes.
They're from by where I live, so we had that connection. They were just two really great dudes, recent into golf. And it was really, they helped make this a very pleasurable round. You know how sometimes you get paired up with two people and you're like, who are these guys? I don't, what kind of weirdos are these? They were not. They were absolutely amazing dudes. Really cool. They were chatted about the podcast. One of them followed the podcast before we got here, so that was kind of interesting. It was just very. They made the round enjoyable, and not always do you get paired up with somebody that doesn't make it enjoyable. So
I think that's also the community that we're starting to build around all this golfing in the Garden State is like, we are two people that are trying to just play golf, talk golf, experience all the amazing things here in the Garden State. And I think when people start to see us out, they're not afraid to say hello. We're handing out stickers. We're saying this, like, we're happy you do that.
Yeah.
And I think those are the things that people are starting to resonate with people like, all right, they are two good dudes. I love what they're doing. It's fun. It's exciting. And I just think that it's fun to be on this ride and kind of see where this thing goes.
Totally agree with you. Mike, you got anything else from today? I mean, this experience at Crystal Springs, I mean, we could just
keep going. If we wanted to.
We really could. It was excellent. There's the stem to stern. Again, the golf, the facilities, the spa, the pool, the lodging, the restaurants, the service, the food, the cocktails, I didn't even mention golf, right? And the golf, like, everything here is top notch, first class. I mean, we're lucky here in New Jersey. This is a top, really a world-class facility. It's in our state. You know, you just came back from Pinehurst, the mecca of golf, and everybody's dream vacation. How far off is this kind of place?
You know,
and it can't be the same. I get that.
Yeah, it's not different. The same. It hits different. I think there's more tradition probably at Pinehurst in terms of, and I guess there's not. I mean, it's no disrespect, but there is. I mean,
it's golf
number
though.
2,
that's going to be more golf
8,
driven.
Yeah, 4. It's a different clientele, but like, this is just something that, listen, I know we're 2 for 2 and coming up here back-to-back Julys. This is something that I would love if Brian's listening or Michelle's listening. This is something I would love to do a yearly thing, because you can kind of see as we've grown. You know, we didn't record this on property at Ballyowen with this amazing backdrop. Like, we didn't. Like, this thing is growing. Mm-hmm. More and more people are listening. Mm-hmm. More and more people clearly here at Ballyowen that we've never met before.
Right.
Love what's going on, are following, are listening, are subscribing. So, listen, I just hope and pray that, listen, we're back for year 3 next year.
Yeah, would love that. Because, again, this is a real treat. It really is. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Tom, over at Ledbetter. Thank you for all the there's golf pros at all these courses, too. Thank you to the pros. This is a real treat for us, and we are willing to come anytime that you guys would like to have us. This is a real treat, and we'll talk about the courses up here anytime, because it is special, for sure. I'm good, Mike. Are you?
I am, sir.
All right. Well, that's all for Mike and I today. Stay tuned Thursday for our interview Thursday. Till then, cheers.